This is Carcon Carne, episode 1000, and Carcon Carne is a Q101 podcast. I'm James Van Osdol, and all three parts of episode 1000 bring together interviews and performances from 4 different live events held over the past month in the city and suburbs, specifically Skeleton Key Brewery in Woodridge, Siren Records in McHenry, the Q101 Lounge inside radio station Q101, and Liars Club in Chicago. Specifically in this third part of the 3-part series, we'll see and hear an interview with Dead using those sweet Q101 mics. One of my favorite bands, AM Taxi, a performance and a conversation with them from Skeleton Key. A conversation with Siren Records owner Bill Lindquist right there at Siren. We'll also hear from longtime pop punk favorites, Showoff. And the whole thing, this whole 3-part series, will climax with a fantastic performance from the synthy goth pop group Clubdrugs. Now, in between all of this, you'll get to enjoy messages and testimonials from people for episode 1000. This time around, that includes Patrick Brower, owner of Challengers Comics and Conversation in Chicago, Stubby from Lucky Boys Confusion, Bullet to the Heart, Dennis Buckley of 88 Fingers Louie, and You Died. Carcon Carne is sponsored by Easy Automation. Are you ready to turn your home into a smart home? It's so easy to do. All you need is a quote, and you'll realize, oh my God, why am I not doing this? Transform your living space with cutting-edge home automation. Experience seamless control over audio, video, security, lighting, climate, and more. It's time. Embrace the future of smart living. It's your home, your rules. Get a quote by visiting easy-automation.net or call my guy Dan at 630-730-3728.
It's Carcon Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Carcon Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Osdol.
1,000 episodes of Carcon Carne by James Van Osdol. Wow. Congratulations, my friend. Those of you that know me, I'm Stubby from Lucky Boys Confusion and a bunch of other bands, but James means a lot to me, and I know he doesn't really like when I talk about this much, but he was my hero growing up. I listened to Q101, Local 101. I couldn't wait to one day be on there before I even started in the band, and just, I don't know what I was going to do on there, but I wanted to be on. Introduced me to so much new music, and he was Mr. Radio for me and all my friends growing up. What happens when Mr. Radio loses radio? Well, when you're James Van Osdol, you reinvent yourself. And you are successful when you do it. I mean, this is the best music podcast in Chicago and run by our guy. And I asked myself, well, why? What was the reason for the success? And it's because we got a window into him. So he asks the best questions. He gets the best bands on because, everybody respects him. But learning all about him, what he likes to eat, the comic books, knowing that he's into wrestling, and knowing he's into just all these other things, knowing that he's a metalhead, learning all these things is just fun while he's asking these perfect questions to all these bands. Congratulations again, my friend. I can't say enough. This is awesome, and everybody should be listening. Thanks.
And here we go. Welcome to the lounge, everybody. Glad you're here. That means you can cheer. We're here. We did it. We arrived. So this is being recorded for my podcast. My name is James Van Osdol. This is for Carcon Carne, a podcast I do, which is a Q101 podcast, and it's the 1000th episode of the podcast. And for the 1000th episode, thank you. For the 1000th episode, I wanted to do something cool, and there's nothing cooler than being here in the lounge, right? We're all blowing off work today, having a Monday with a really cool band. And to be clear, I don't work for Q101. It's kind of weird. I'm kind of Q101 adjacent. I used to work there back in the day, wrote a book about it. But these days, I'm kind of like, the way I like to describe it, it's kind of like if you went to Sox Park and saw Ron Kittle walking around, I'm kind of like an alumni that pops in every now and then, or like Stan Lee with Marvel Comics. Like, he was there for all the cool shit back in the day, like X-Men and the Hulk. And then when the movies started, he would pop on for like a cameo or two. That's me. I'm Ron Kittle or Stan Lee for Q101. So, on to our special guest, the reason why we're all here. The music of this band can be frustrating to explain. I mean, it's familiar, it's comforting, but at the same time, it defies labels. It defies categorization, easy for me to say. It sounds like it's always been with us, but it also sounds fresh, daring, and exciting. So, frustrating in a good way, I think. Their latest album, it is their fifth. It is called Poetry. It is arguably their best, and it's crazy to think we're all spending Monday afternoon with them. Please welcome Dead.
Hello.
What's up?
Jason, Emily, Eric, hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Good afternoon now.
Good afternoon.
Time moves fast. I said right before you came out that Poetry is arguably your best album yet. Do you agree? Do you think you push things forward on this one?
We're not going to argue with you.
I mean, I think our next album is going to be the best album.
You set the bar for the next round.
I just always think that.
So what was different this time around? Recording location, learnings from previous albums?
Yeah, we really mixed it up. We've always been like a Chicago band, so we've recorded and written everything here. So we went on a road trip. And Emily was living in New Mexico at the time, so we spent a lot of time kind of in a lot of different surroundings in the Pacific Northwest and just kind of taking in America.
Speaking of Chicago, 3 sold-out shows at Thalia Hall next month. And sold-out shows in and around the country as well, but here in Chicago, 3 sold-out shows. What does that feel like?
Feels pretty cool. Why are you looking at me?
I don't know, it's just spreading the wealth.
Feels awesome. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
It is crazy. It feels unreal.
Pinch me.
Coming up in Chicago, the band came together almost 10 years ago. Was it a grind to start? Yeah? Talk about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we like started touring just in a Prius. Like the 3, that's actually like how we're a band, actually, because there's no other way to afford playing for $0 for a whole month.
Yeah.
But the gas is cheap, you know? But it was like we got to a breaking point after doing that for like 6 years where like we were driving for 14 hours and I almost hit a deer. I'm always like hitting deer randomly. But and Emily was like, we cannot do this any longer. Because like we couldn't even see Eric. He would be like packed into the gear in the back seat.
It was called The Hole.
We'd have like whole conversations for like an hour and we're like, what do you think, Eric? And then it would be like, oh, he hasn't heard us this entire time we've been talking to him.
Like the AC and heat doesn't really go back there. So Eric was just like in this rugged terrain in the
isolation
back. And the drums
chamber.
were like right here. Like it was like the instruments would be packed all the way to the ceiling and then a human would go into this little space.
So we've really come a long way.
You have, and I know you've had issues with deer. You know they only come out at like 5 or 6 o'clock at night. If you plan strategically, you can avoid them because it's the gloaming.
Well, we hit one at 2 a.m. So that's the one that did us in.
Glowing?
Gloaming.
Gloaming?
That's when the deer come out.
What's
I didn't know
gloaming
that.
mean?
We-
Is this like a fairy thing?
It is a fairy thing. Yes.
Really?
No, it's. I have to mention the Army of Darkness T-shirt. I mean, it's spooky time. It's spooky season. Are you a horror person?
I'm actually not. I can't intake anything horrible. I never forget it. So I'm just wearing the shirt because it's from Bread Press, Chicago artist.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got to represent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as the Legend of Dead grows and as you tour
you.
all over the place, do you still feel like connectedness to Chicago?
Oh, big time.
Oh, yeah.
Emily actually just came back because she missed it.
Yeah, I never really left, I guess. It's been a decade. I'm from the South. I'm from Atlanta, but I moved here and then I've discovered like the community here is so different than anywhere else.
How so?
I've been like spoiled. Everybody's like nice to each other and everyone's like a family and everyone's like uplifting. Like it's like the hustle is like together.
That's just it. Chicago is the nicest big city in the world, unless you're driving.
Yeah.
And then all bets are off.
I mean, someone might yell at you, but it's like with love.
I honked with love on the way here.
You honked with love? Yeah. My new thing is, I don't give people the finger when I drive because that'll get you shot now. But what I like to do is just give a thumbs down.
Yeah.
I think that's almost worse than giving someone the finger.
I stick my tongue out.
There, exactly.
Because
like
what are you going to do with that?
I try to kill him with kindness. I'm like, mm-hmm.
Can we talk a little bit about the new album, the songs on the album?
Yeah.
Dog Days. Song about hookup culture?
Yeah, just like trying to find somebody.
Who has time for relationships anyway?
Well, I don't know. I think that's all we spend up our time doing.
That's all we write about.
The video for it is awesome. Speaking of Chicago,
Yes.
Bernice's Tavern.
Yeah, old school spot.
Bernice's.
Who doesn't love a good dive bar?
I mean, that's also where we were kind of born and raised.
This was one shot.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Yeah.
Kevin Veselka and Glam Hag.
Yeah.
Dream team.
And everything was choreographed, and there's all these different actions. So we had like all these. We had to learn how to fight with like a stunt coordinator, like a violence coach or something.
Yeah, we had a fight coordinator to teach us how to
That's
fake
awesome.
fight.
Yeah, it takes a lot to not hurt someone when you're hurting them.
Still seems, to watch you play, to hear you talk, to see the videos you make, it seems like you're still having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's like the number one thing. We wouldn't be
That's
doing
our
it
brand.
otherwise. Our brand is fun.
No, when we started, our only rule was to have fun, which sounds dorky, but it is. And we were like, okay, this band, the only rule is that we have to have fun and we have to say yes to everything. And then we just did, and we still are, even though it's like been 9 years.
Yeah, that's like why we recorded the first
like-
time. A guy was like, at our first show, was like, I have recording gear, I'll record you. And we're like,
It was
okay.
at that arcade place.
Mm-hmm.
And he just walked up. He had like really long hair. And he was like,
kind of a mystic.
Hey. And we were like, whoa. He's like, do you want to record? It was just like, yeah. And then we were like, okay. And then we ended up recording in like Wilco's old studio.
Yeah, Jay Bennett's old
With all his stuff.
studio. Yeah.
We were like, this is cool. And it's not there anymore. And there was a
It's a bank now.
there was a bakery. What was it?
A pierogi
Polish.
place. Yeah.
There was a Polish bakery, and I was like, this is awesome. You can get so much food for so cheap.
Which is actually such a Chicago thing. It was
Such a
like,
Chicago
we're like
thing.
eating pierogies and Polish food.
okay.
So in summary, Dad, you're living your best life.
Yeah.
Three sold-out shows at Thaya Hall in November. And then, as promised, the album after this one will be even better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have time to write or think about it?
Yeah.
We've been thinking about it a lot.
Yeah.
Like the last 2
We
days.
were just talking about it as we were exiting.
Yeah. We actually were talking about what the album cover is going to be.
That's-
Wait, could I just
I don't think we can say it.
On behalf of a grateful city, thanks for all you do. We do love you in this town, right?
Hey, this is Patrick Brower from Challengers Comics and Conversation in Chicago. And James, I cannot believe Car Con Carne is at 1,000 episodes, especially since my podcast, Contest of Challengers, which you do the intro and outro voices of every episode, is only in the early 700s, and we started before you. But that just shows your dedication, your commitment, your hard work, your drive, and the fact that you are the voice of Chicago media. And we wouldn't have it any other way. And with this video, I've been on Car Con Carne 7 times. So by my math, that means I'm on 0.7% of all of your episodes. I am practically a co-host. So James, we did it. Congratulations to us. Great job, old friend. Keep it up.
So thank you for coming to Skeleton Key. We're so glad you could be with us tonight. It's great when a community can come together and celebrate each other. I do want to mention, my friends Jamie and Deb gave me this sticker. Don't be a jagoff. Support local music. It's the most Chicago thing. So don't be a jagoff. Support AM Taxi.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Matchbooks and the cigarettes, letting your silhouette, except to say anything. The place is a mess, you think, buy you another drink, anything you want, about time that you lose your friends. No, I don't wanna talk, I want everything. Driving me home. Street lights in your coma eyes.
I'm in no shape to drive.
Besides, you're fine.
Say anything.
Get us out of the parking lot.
Swerving behind the car.
Eyes on the road, I got anything you want, like secrets to hunt.
Got lemons to blow.
Yeah, I got the gun to blow. driving me home? Are you driving me home? I would be the razor, baby. I would be the pill. I'm the ambulance that never comes, the antidote you spill. In the accident, I'll be the failure in your brakes. The truth you couldn't take, the mistake, worst you ever made. Your doubts follow you through the door.
Just what do you do
You
for?
need more and more.
Feel anything.
Each night it's someone else.
Last time you can tell yourself.
You can tell yourself anything you want. Cold up when we climb the stairs. No, I don't wanna talk. I want everything. Driving me home. Are you driving me home? I will be the razor, baby. I will be the pill. I am the ambulance that never comes, the antidote you spill. In the accident, I'll be the failure in your brakes. The truth you couldn't take, the mistake, worst you ever made. Go ahead, Jinx. Do you feel anything now? You feel anything at all? Do you feel anything? How could you feel anything now? Do you feel anything now? I'll be the razor, baby. I'll be the pill. I'm the ambulance that never comes, the antidote you spill. And in the accident, I'll be the failure in your brakes. The truth you couldn't take, the mistake. I will be the razor, baby. I will be the pill. I'm the ambulance that never comes, the antidote you spill. In the accident, I'll be the failure in your brakes. The truth you couldn't take, the mistake, worst you ever made. Thank you so much. We're AM Taxi. Thank you to Skeleton Key. Let's hear it for James Van Osdal. 1, 2, 1, 2.
There we go.
Hey.
Thank you.
The most recent album at this point from AM Taxi is Shiver by Me. And you kind of showed your hand on social media about what you're going to do tonight. Like, you
Sort of.
should-
We tried a few things.
Oh, so what we saw on social media may not make it to the stage?
We haven't decided yet. We're trying to figure that out. But we played 3 shows since 2020 or beginning of 2020.
I think I was at least 2 of those.
I think you've been there.
Yeah.
But this is the first kind of super stripped down thing.
So I guess that leads to the question, will we get much more AM Taxi in the months and years to come?
Hopefully, we're writing some tunes. It's just cool to kind of get together and hang out and drink and play music.
Because like so many bands, the last album was released right before the plague.
Yeah.
Everything got derailed. The night of. So, I mean, in a sense, this is still the album you're working. I mean, it really is the new album. You've been living with it for a while, but
It's the new old album.
the new old album.
This is, we've done this thing with you now 3 times, and the first time was, proper back, pre the shutdown, and we were eating pizza in a car,
Eating deep dish pizza.
and then things.
Then we
were-
did a pandemic thing.
Things were quiet. We zoomed.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And then now here we are with all these wonderful people at this great skeleton bar.
So watching you, just thinking about that social media clip you shared, it was a little rusty, a little messy, a little sloppy.
That's being kind.
Is there, I mean, are you still kind of shaking off the cobwebs just based on the frequency you're coming together?
Yeah, but we'll get.
That's
through
rock and
it.
roll, right?
Yeah.
There should be a little.
Well, everyone will see. Yeah.
So you said you're writing some stuff. Like, where's your head at as you're writing stuff?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. we kind of, if you can recall, everyone I'm sure remembers there was a period of time there when, nobody could really do much of anything. And, people were having kids and buying homes or playing Super Mario Brothers and listening to the Beastie Boys. But we were
I've known you for decades, and that's one of the through lines of the past 30 years.
But we did, write during that time, and we wrote a bunch. We've got 10 or 11 songs. But every time we get together now, it's like, how do we play the old songs? So we'll see, though. We're hopeful that we'll get something out soon.
I still think of albums as 10 to 12 song cycles, start to finish, A-sides and B-sides. And I was thinking about We Don't Stand a Chance. There's a strong case for this being one of the most powerful side ones ever. Dead Street, The Mistake, Fed Up, Carissa, Tanner Boyle versus the 7th Grade. That's what a statement that first side makes.
Thanks. That was done in Austin, Texas with Mike McCarthy. Great guy.
Now, I see people, Adam, and I know you work with a lot of people, and perhaps some of those people are in the crowd tonight that you've worked with as a producer, co-writer, whatever. Do you feel like you have kind of a mentorship role now in the local music community?
Not exactly, but it's very cool and rewarding to work with all these great bands. We've got people here tonight from Take the Reins and the Ramblers and Four Aces. And it's very cool to be able to, have everybody high-fiving on the way out of the studio,
Rest of AM
Most of the
Taxi,
time.
if you want to talk about talk about how it feels to get back on stage again and do this.
It's different because it's I haven't done it since the before time. The before time was like we were a well-oiled machine, but we're just trying to, like you said, I had a child recently. She's 7 months old.
Congratulations.
And I wore a hat that says Dad because I'm 43 and I finally had my first child and I'm at a brewery, so I needed to, when I go to the bathroom, remind myself I'm Dad. And that's the only reason.
Make
for
good
the hat.
decisions tonight.
Big time good decision. But yeah, it's great to be back playing with these guys again. It feels weird. It's like we have to learn our songs that we wrote from a younger version of ourselves. That's the only way that I can put it.
When we decided it was a good idea to play everything really fast and sing really high, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not easy anymore.
Well, you're not supposed to play favorites when you're in a position like mine, when you're local music adjacent. I think you are absolutely one of my favorite bands of the past 15, 20 years in Chicago. You've given us 2 solid, unassailable albums of gritty, melodic, earnest, working man's rock. This is the kind of stuff. Oh, come on. This is the kind of stuff that
Thought that was my
could only
fault.
have come out of the Midwest, I think.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And
Very kind of you.
That's very nice. We owe a lot to you as well. And, we're very, very happy to be part of the 1000th episode of this show.
Hi, I'm Audrey Queen, lead singer of Bullet to the Heart, and I just wanted to say congratulations to Car Con Carne for reaching its 1000th episode. Such a big achievement, and I was so happy to be a part of it, and I cannot wait to see what's next.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Bill Lindquist of Siren Records. Hello.
Hello.
I'm not going to leave this podcast recording without talking to you.
Okay.
Talk on mic.
I'll talk on the mic.
So let's talk. You are an independently owned and run business in the face of situations like you can find records at Target, which is really fucked up. You guys persevere by really owning your community, being part of your community, being ingrained in your community. I think that's something to be celebrated. Talk to me about, real quick, the history of Siren.
Okay, so I had a construction company. My wife was a stay-at-home mom. We kind of came to the terms that we didn't want somebody else to raise our kids. So we ventured into buying out a flea market owner. He had a record booth, so we bought that. And from that point, it kind of stemmed into this on a $500 investment.
$500 investment.
Yes.
And now, how long ago was this?
12 years ago.
About 12 years.
You couldn't do that now.
There's
You'd
people you can.
You'd be foolish to.
Everybody that's into records tries to be the record store in the basement.
Yes.
So with the online platform, anybody can become a store.
But to me, for a store to be successful, you got to do what Siren Records does and really support the community. You have to reflect the community. Hosting an in-store today, I mean, I told you, Bill, when we started talking about this, I don't know if this will be a bomb, if this will be a success. You didn't care. You're like, no, this sounds cool. I want to do it.
Yeah. So timing's everything with a lot of stuff, and of course you're against football right now, and the Bears are happening to do fairly well. With
See, that's my mistake. I don't even pay it. I don't even know what the Bears play or when.
So you'll like start seeing the waves as soon as the Bears are done. It'll get busy around here for about an hour before we close. You know, like having a store is always cool because you get to meet every aspect of life. And I love when parents bring in children, younger kids. I like when they bring in kids with autism, Down syndrome, just different things where they kind of seem to be a little like, ooh, just don't make excuses for your children. You're in a music store. Let them go have fun.
Yeah.
We all go to shows so we can let off steam and do stuff. Being in a store is no different. Let them get excited. Let people get happy. You could have a shit day, go into your store and just, hey, can I listen to this record? I don't have any money, but I just want to hear the. Go for it. Put the song on, listen to it, do what you want to do. You got to try to find another alternative for people just to unleash. Whether it's peacefully, you prefer not violently, but sometimes that's why we have the pit.
That's why we have the pit. And what I love about coming to a record store like Siren, what I love about coming to Siren, is just being able to come somewhere where I know I can talk music with people.
Right.
Like I can go through the records and say, oh, this record's garbage. I can't, are you giving this one away because, oh my God, or have you heard this? I love coming to a space where it's just music, people talking about music.
I think that's why people go to the bar, so they can sit there and just talk about random shit. Mm-hmm. On there, you go to a music store, you talk about random shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, these are my people. When I come to a record store, these are my people. We're going to talk about Kiss Dynasty or that Sponge album that followed Rotting Pinata that people never listened to.
James. Including me.
Or Diary of a Madman by Ozzy Osbourne. I have the controversial opinion that is a better album than Blizzard of Oz.
I think Dio's a better singer.
That's not what we're talking about. You're right. Dio Sabbath is better than Ozzy Sabbath. I will go on record. I will say Heaven and Hell. It has one of the most perfect album sides in rock history. Side 1 of Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. Flawless. Chef's kiss.
Just to watch a lot of these people, you want to know who influenced Ozzy the most, or who influenced Zeppelin or Floyd or any of these things. And really, it's cool watching the architecture of how music, even from the 17th century, has influenced so much modern music. That's what I think I enjoy the most about it. It's just everybody's trying to find something. They're trying to find that edge, trying to find the sound, and they're going back and they're like, well, what about this person? Or what about that? This is a sound I want. So even though something's old, per se, it's always new because somebody reintroduces it. And
there's nothing better than making those discoveries. Like, where have I been? Where's this artist been all my life? Oh my God, I want to consume everything. That's the best feeling in the world.
Just don't do it on the day that they actually die, because I'm not selling it.
He's a retailer.
You've had your whole life to discover somebody.
Exactly.
And the day that they die is not the day to discover them.
All right, so looking ahead at Siren Records McHenry, I'm assuming Black Friday, Record Store Day, that's the next big thing.
Yes.
Thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
playing host. Bill, Siren Records.
Hey James, it's Fred from You Died. Congratulations on 1,000 episodes. Hey man, I don't know if you knew this, but I started my own podcast a couple years ago called Bike Con Carne. We had to cut it after one episode because of the lawsuit, the hospital visits, and the blood. So much blood. Anyway, congratulations, man. Hope you get 1,000 more.
Please welcome to the stage here at Siren Records in McHenry, Showoff. Nice job. Hey, Chris.
Hi, James. I had 6 shots of peanut butter whiskey last night.
Proud of you. So I first met Showoff when they were just scrappy pop punk kids rolling around the mean streets of Villa Park.
Oh, yeah. Rough town.
Rough town. These days, the next show is happening at the Piazza, which is like pizza with an extra Z, or no, with an extra A, sorry.
Yeah.
In Aurora on December 20th. It's you, it's Anne Berlin, it's Eve 6.
Yep.
Hot Alice. That's a bill right there.
Oh, man.
That's a festive holiday show.
That's called nostalgia.
Well, Hot Alice is a brand new band.
Except for some people in here weren't born yet.
This is true. I mentioned, you rolling around Villa Park 25 fucking years ago. The mission back then is different from the mission today for Showoff. Where's your head at today with this new music that we're going to talk about?
Right. So when 25 years ago, it was let's have fun, let's play some shows, let's meet some cute punk rock girls, right? Now it's world domination.
Wait, no. Wait, I thought it was the other way around.
No.
I thought world domination was...
I think the closer you get to 50, the more you have your eye on the prize.
Really?
Yeah,
So-
which
so
is
you're
global domination.
So you're going for it.
Nope. That was all a joke.
Good night, everybody.
No, what we're trying to do at this point, let's have fun and play the shows that make us happy, and whatever happens, happens, you know?
I love it. And I mean, your sound, you've got this locked down. Haverstraw is the new release. How did the band come together in the studio for this?
Carefully and with great disdain for each other.
At each other's throats, acrimony from start to finish.
We did kick our bass player out.
Did you really?
Yeah. So Haverstraw is named after the town we were in called it's West Haverstraw. Haverstraw. See? We went to a place called West Haverstraw Bagel. He did not come to that eatery with us, and he was gone.
Never
Yep.
miss a trip.
2 times.
That's a rookie
2
move.
people kicked out. It happens every time.
You got to weed people out.
It's something in the bagel.
Something in the bagel.
Yeah.
You played 2 of the songs just now.
Yeah.
From that. The Day You Left, it's my favorite on the album. The video is super fun.
Thank you.
Storyboarding this had to be fun. It's things coming to an end between you, Chris Envy, and a blow-up doll.
Correct. Yep. As I said, when you get closer to 50, keep your eye on the prize.
And that prize
And the
doesn't,
prize is a blow-up doll.
that prize doesn't talk back?
Yeah.
Is there to meet your needs?
I mean, the blow-up doll left me. Like, that just says a lot about me personally as a man and that blow-up doll.
And it shatters what we've all been taught is that you're a fantastic lover.
Yeah, that's a lie. As I said, the closer you get to 50,
You also
little blue pill.
You also played Crimson, which
Yeah.
when I first heard these songs, I told Mickey, your esteemed drummer, that song seems like a no-brainer to me. That's an anthem.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun writing all of these songs, and basically when we were in the studio, so what I like to do in the writing process is go for melody first and then lyrical content later, but I have an idea of what I want to do. But getting a little older did change that process a bit, where I was a lot more dedicated to the writing process lyrically, because I have kids, you know? Dude, last night we played a show and my kid, 16-year-old, played the bass on 2 of the songs.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome. Oh man, it melted my heart, like looking over and he's singing the songs with me. Your 16-year-old kid, where you're just like, holy shit. Like, I remember being 16, playing songs. Now my kid is a bass player and he's on stage with me playing, and it was amazing.
It's like owning a diner and you know your kid's going to wait tables and host at the diner at some
Yeah.
point. That's what it is in Showoff. At some point, the kid has to be pressed into service.
I'm glad that we're like dining service to you, James. It's very nice.
You're delicious. Okay, so the new release is Haverstraw. We can see you again at the Piazza in Aurora,
December
which
20th.
Is about 1,700 miles from where we are right now.
Is it really?
Yes, something like that. Charter a flight right now to get there on December 20th. I think you guys, I mean, I followed you for years. I think you've got this melodic sound nailed down. The songs on the new release, they're raw but polished. Like you did.
Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going for these particular songs.
I love it. Well, keep doing what you do.
Thank you. You keep doing what you do.
That's Chris from Showoff,
James is
everybody.
a fucking hero. I don't know if you guys know this, but he is. He's been there, and I say it every time I'm on with you, but he's been with this band from the very beginning. He was the first person to play us. He's still chugging along and helping us do what we're capable of doing, and it's amazing. You're an amazing man.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm in love with you.
I'm in love with you.
The closer I get to the 50, the more
say
I
it.
realize I am
Say it.
sexually attracted to you, James.
It could be a platonic bro hug kind of relationship, but you went there, that's fine.
I'm trying to move forward in this process. I ain't got a lot of time left.
Make every day count, be existential.
That's right.
Okay. Chris, thank you.
Thank you, James.
Hi, we're Club Drugs.
We just want to say congratulations to James and Car Con Carne on your 1000th episode.
You guys rock and roll all night and party every day.
Please welcome to the stage Club Drugs. One more time for Club Drugs. Oh my God. The only problem with that performance is I feel like we should have been watching that at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
I actually think that all of the best goth pop performances happen at Sunday at like 4 p.m. or whatever time it is. Who amongst us hasn't seen like Sisters of Mercy at 4 p.m.?
It's kind of like the movie Midsommar. Like all this weird, creepy shit happens in broad daylight, and the color palette is just different.
What a segue into our favorite topic that we all talk about, amazing horror movies.
Yeah, I realized when I interviewed Club Drugs earlier this year, we were destined to be friends forever because of a love for horror movies, and just because you're cool people.
Horror movies, haunted houses, anything.
This is your go time, right? I mean, this is Halloween season.
Yeah.
We've become our full selves.
My powers are...
She legitimately, just to say so out, she legitimately was like, around this time of year, as we get closer to Halloween, my powers are becoming their full self.
Yeah, I'm coming into my power right now.
This is John and Maria, by the way, of Club Drugs. We talked before you performed. I want to help you manifest your ideas because you're like this never-ending flow of creative ideas and thoughts. What's your plan for next Halloween?
Man, great question. So, in all honesty, I want to start a Halloween carnival, and everyone in this room.
Stop there. Halloween carnival.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Halloween carnival. Everyone in this room has to help. I just recruited all of you. It's going to be carnival rides and bands and carnival games in a haunted house. I don't know how to do that, but please help.
Will there be cider donuts? I love cider donuts.
There'll be vegan cider donuts.
What about, well, for the rest of us, can we make some with dairy for fun?
Sure.
If you want to make this work, you got to.
They're still going to be vegan. You just don't need to know it.
So I know spooky time is your go time. Like, do you rewatch a bunch of movies?
Oh God, yes.
Like what?
Yesterday I watched Poltergeist. Oh, I have my echo on. I watched Poltergeist and Poltergeist 2. Poltergeist 2 is terrible.
It's terrible.
It's poorly written, edited in the most insane way. Like, what story are you trying to tell here?
Drag You Down and Waiting this year. New stuff we got from you. On the Bandcamp, on the single for Waiting, it looks like a picture of a dead American mall.
Yeah. I love malls.
I'm fascinated.
Dead malls.
Okay.
Dead malls, dead radio, like whatever we can do. Whoa.
Here's the thing about shopping malls, and they're dead everywhere. Like, I've been to Northbrook Court, I've been to Gulf Mill Mall in the past year.
Sure.
It's fascinating. It's like Dawn of the Dead stuff. I was in Des Moines, Iowa last month, and I ended up at a shopping mall. Packed. It looked like it was 1988 Woodfield.
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah.
Outside of
Woodfield still
Chicago,
happen.
like, that is a center of activity. People go to the mall. They're bouncing in and out of Urban Outfitters and Barnes and Noble like nobody's business. Here, I mean, you could play football inside any of these malls and not interrupt anything.
Yeah. You know, Woodfield is still the place to be.
I didn't know that.
You should go.
I did not know that. Okay, so with those songs this year, you're spending the rest of the year like this is kind of it. Full stop. Club Drugs, you're hunkering down, making new music.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time this year playing way more shows than we expected to, which is a good thing, and we feel very lucky about that. But it's time for us to do a record and to like get that out into the world. So we're gonna slow down a little bit for the rest of the year. Probably the beginning of next year will be a little bit slow, and hopefully we have a new record out sometime in the spring.
Well, as the kids say, Club Drugs, watching you is a whole ass mood. Like, there's a vibe watching you. I love seeing you perform. Thank you for doing this. And for
honestly, thank you for having us. Like, I meant everything that we said in there. Like, you are a first ballot Chicago Hall of Famer in my mind. Yes, absolutely. So we're stoked. You've given us so much over the years. We are happy to be here on a Sunday afternoon with all these great people. So please keep doing what you're doing. The world needs you.
Thank you. Apologies to Ditka and Michael Jordan and Oprah, but all right. Thank you, Club Drugs. Thank you for making it to the end of this episode. Some people don't make it to the end, but I'm glad you did because I have some people to thank for episode 1000, starting with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting Car Con Carne and giving me the chance to provide this platform for Chicago's creative community, arts community, culinary community. Specific to this episode, I want to thank the venues who hosted the live events: Skeleton Key Brewery in Woodridge, Paul and Emily Slayton, Herb and everyone at Liars Club in Chicago, Bill and Jenny at Siren Records, everyone at Q101. Speaking of Q101, thank you to Zach Spangler, who shot the footage for Liars Club, Skeleton Key, and of course the Q101 Lounge. I mean, this is world-class stuff he does. This is what he does every day. And the fact that he did it for Car Con Carne, man, I'm so grateful. Thanks to Henry Shearer and Matt Winkleman, whose audio and lighting skills made this work from the word go. I'm very grateful for them. They gave me the confidence to do this in a very big way. Awesome Ali, fellow Niles West grad, for doing the sound at Liars Club. Also, thanks to all the artists. All these artists did this. They participated in episode 1000 just because they thought it was a cool idea. No one got paid, including me. No one got paid. Everyone did it because they thought it was fun. I'm so grateful for all of them. And they sounded amazing. The interviews were great. I couldn't be happier. Thanks to friends, old and new, who came out for the live events. And again, thank you. You can listen to, watch, subscribe to Car Con Carne, all the usual places, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, etc. I put the full episodes on Facebook. I've been doing that for a very long time. Facebook has kind of deprioritized long-form content, so no one ever sees it anymore. So just say, fuck it. If you want to watch on Facebook, just go to YouTube instead. Be sure to check out the other two parts of episode 1000. Entirely different rosters of guests and interviews. Really cool stuff. More to come. In fact, Chris Green Quartet is next up, followed by Damager. I've got a full slate of things planned through the months of November and December. Thank you again